Hey there, in today's video, I wanted to talk about the importance of focus when it comes to starting an online business or trying to get going with your, affiliate marketing, digital marketing, whatever it is that whatever it is that you're into when it comes to like the online space, right? And I got to thinking, as you can see behind me, I've got a lot of junk, okay? Now, before I get into all of this and what this whole thing about focus is, it actually is an acronym. It stands for something, all right, that I'll share with you in just a second. But before we get into all that, if you would like to get started selling digital products online, or if you would like to start with with some kind of online business and you don't know where to go, check out the first link in the description below this video. It will show you how, it will give you some access to some good training that will show you how to get started selling digital products that you either can create as the owner yourself or selling other people's digital products as an affiliate for a commission if you don't want to go through the trouble of creating your own product. Okay. So I've been over the past week or so, I've been heavily involved in moving from previous location to where I'm at now, and I have all this stuff behind me, right? And which I'm still in the process of unpacking, right? Like my place is pretty much a mess, right? And it just, when you move and you start doing stuff, you get to realize how much junk and stuff that you've accumulated over time that you might not necessarily need. Okay. And it just kind of reminded me of like what many of us go through when it comes to trying to get started with some kind of online business, right? We bought, and what happens, right? You get online, you start looking up how to make money online. Then before you know it, you find yourself buying all these different courses created by various different gurus and all that type of stuff. And you kind of get to that point where you're essentially spinning your wheels, right? Because you're jumping from course to course or program to program, and you're accumulating all this digital stuff, right? Like on your laptop or wherever you have it saved, right? A bunch of stuff that you don't necessarily need to keep, right? Like all this junk that I have here. I mean, granted, it's not, might not necessarily be all be mine, right? Like maybe helping relatives keep, store their stuff for them as well and all that. Like I got to get rid of all this and put it in storage units and all that type of stuff. But you just accumulate a bunch of stuff that you don't necessarily need. And then when it relates to, courses that we buy or trainings that we follow, you accumulate all these different courses, courses that you bought over time, have you accumulated, and you've not necessarily gone forward with any one of them, right? Because you've essentially been jumping from one thing to another. So this whole idea of focus, right? Focus, F.O.C.U.S. F standing for, basically it stands for like, just look at it this way, right? The key to success when it comes to getting started with anything online business related, right? Whether you're doing drop shipping, Amazon FBA, social media marketing, social media like marketing agency or affiliate marketing, you name it, right? The bottom line is focus, right? Follow one course until completed. Okay. So F.O.C.U.S. F, follow one course of action, I guess you could say, until completed. See what typically happens, and a lot I've been guilty of this, and this is something that happens with a lot of beginners, right? We have this thing called shiny object syndrome, right? Where I remember when I first started, it's like you find yourself trying to do, following one particular course or one course of action, whatever that is, and then you're in the court, you're trying to go through it, and then you're not seeing results happening as quickly as you would like. And then what happens? You see another shiny object, another guru flashes something that's better into your eyes, right? And then now you want to buy that one, and then you try that stuff for like a couple of weeks. You don't give it enough time, and results are not coming. and then you buy another one, and just like that. It's just a cycle, and like a never-ending cycle of just buying like junk, like just accumulating stuff, right? Accumulating stuff that you don't necessarily need, right? It would have been good. The key to succeeding is actually whatever it is that you like. These things, they all work. Okay, they all like. There's so many different ways to go about running an online business or doing. There's so many different online business models, and they all work. Right? You'll look at anyone, you will find someone who's doing amazing with every single one of them. Okay, so they all work. The question is, do you work? Okay, because they only work if you put in the work, right? And you need to focus on one for an extended period of time. Okay, you got to focus on one for an extended period of time. That is the key to succeeding, right? Because if if you're only if you don't get, and when I say extended period of time, right, like if you're a beginner, like you're probably wondering, okay, what does that mean? What exactly is an extended period of time, right? Minimum, bare minimum, like 3 months is even small pushing it, but I would say at least six. Personally, I would say at least 6 months. You want to give something a try for a minimum of 6 months and this is 6 months of genuine hard, like genuine effort. Okay, like this is, I'm not talking about 6 months where you go like a couple of days doing something busy work, right? That's not really moving the needle, pushing you forward, and then you take off for a few days, and then you come back the next week, and then take another week out. No, I'm talking about 6 months of constant daily action every single day, structured, of course, right? You're not just doing random stuff. It's got to be structured, and that's where courses come into play, right? Like they give you some kind of guidance, right? If you're following, and ideally you want to be following a course made by somebody that has actually successfully achieved whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, right? If you take 6 months of genuine, like you give that course an honest shake, right? Like you really give it everything for 6 months, you have a very, very, very good chance of making it a success, right? And that's 6 months. 6 months to me is just the bare minimum, right? You want to ideally be looking to go at this stuff or whatever it is for a year, right? You want to get going. You want to give it a good year, and there's going to come a point where nobody's even going to need to tell you to keep going beyond a year, because if you start seeing the success you're looking for, nobody's going to tell you to continue. You're just going to keep doing more and more of what you're doing and adding extra stuff or whatever the case may be, right? But you got to give it a lot of time. But the key is to focus on one course of action, right? Follow one course of action until completed, meaning you just have to keep going at it, You got to have that, you're gonna have that mentality of succeeding or dying trying, right? That's basically what it takes with a lot of this stuff, especially with a lot with all these businesses. It's like the biggest thing the biggest thing that is really going to help drive your business forward is content creation, right? You need is the marketing, right? Basically getting eyeballs on whatever it is that you're promoting, right? And if for an extended period of time, right, like I said, at least 6 months on a daily basis. Let me just give you like a practical example of what I'm talking about. Let's just say you are doing affiliate marketing, for example, right? Like which is one of my favorite things to do, right? Which, and just so we're all on the same page, in case you're not aware, right? For those, if someone's new, affiliate marketing is a very simple business model where we as affiliates get to promote other people's or other companies, businesses, their products and services, and every time we provide leads or customers, we earn a commission. Okay, so it's one of those. It's as simple as that. It's as simple and as basic as that, right? Every time you send traffic to another business, another person's business or another company's business or service or that they're providing, and we create sales for them, we get rewarded with a commission. Okay, it's as simple as that. And the one of the best ways, if you're beginning, right, you're a beginner and you're not looking to spend money on advertising, right, one of the best ways is just generating, is producing content, organic content for on the various different social media platforms, okay? And you, if, for example, right, like you wanted to give that a real, like promote something, right, and give it an honest try, right? Like you're following one course of action until completed, right? If you go for 6 months producing content every single day, like maybe 3 pieces of content for maybe 3 different social media platforms. Like I said, let me just give concrete examples, right? If you're doing 3 pieces of content every day that you share on YouTube, share on Instagram, share on TikTok, even throw Facebook in there, right? So that's 4 different platforms. And it's the same piece of content that you're just basically repurposing for the 4 different platforms. And if you do that every single day, talking about that particular product that you're promoting, right, for 6 months straight, and of course you're learning as you go, right? Learning as you go. This is just an example of something that you're doing, right? Promoting that product. Obviously, there are other frameworks and things you need to put into place, like a system, an automated system that you put into place, like setting up like a landing page, collecting emails, and all that type of stuff. That's all stuff that you do in the background. But the actual work on a daily basis, if you focus on that for like 6 months, you have a very, very, very good chance of seeing some really, really good results. Okay, but what often happens with a lot of beginners is that we get in, and I'm just saying we, is it like I'm not a beginner, right? But I was once one, and I know exactly what that feels like. I've been through the whole shiny object syndrome phase of jumping from program to program, course to course, and all that type of stuff, right? But what typically happens is beginners will get in and they try something for a couple weeks. They don't see results, and then they label it a scam, or they say it doesn't work, blah blah blah. And then they go try the next thing, right? And then they go try the next thing. 2 weeks, 3 months. Sometimes they'll give it a month, right? Couple months, if sometimes, and if, of course, if they're not making millions overnight, then all of a sudden it doesn't work. But it doesn't work that way, right? You've actually got to give it an honest shake for an extended period of time. Like I said, minimum 6 months. And if you put out all that content over time, like, you have a very, very, very good chance of seeing things happen, right? Notice I didn't guarantee anything, right? There's no guarantees here. I'm not guaranteeing that if you do that, you're going to succeed for sure. No, but you give yourself a very good chance of seeing some decent results, right? That's essentially what I'm saying. So that's just one example of something. Like, now there's, like I said, there's so many different business models, and what you don't want to do is end up accumulating stuff, right? A bunch of courses that you end up not using, right? Not needing. I'm not saying that this stuff over here is stuff that I don't use and I don't need, or whatever the case may be. All this is all piled up here because, I've been in the middle of a move, and of course I've got to unpack and put stuff out and all that kind of stuff. But this is just there metaphorically, right? To, just to, show just a visual reference for what I'm talking about, right? And that's the thing, right? Don't accumulate a bunch of courses. Like, stick with one, focus on one until you get the results that you're looking for, right? It's and trust me, believe me when I tell you this, I know it's not an easy thing to do, especially when you're just starting out and you don't know what's what, and then you get one thing and then you see another one that looks better than the one that you were on before, and especially if the one before that didn't work, and you're like, okay, well, this one's got to be it, right? And then you see another one, that's got to be it. It's shiny object syndrome, I think, is the name. Not I think, that is the name. That is the name that we've given it in the industry, right? Shiny object syndrome. And believe it or not, even, even up until, like, even later when you're like even more established, right? You're still gonna, there can be stuff like that still deters or distracts you from the main thing that you're actually trying to do, especially if you haven't completely accomplish whatever it is that you set out to do from the get-go, right? that stuff, the whole shiny object syndrome thing can still try to derail you or try to distract you from the main thing, right? From that main one thing, right? The thing that I talk about focusing on, right? Following one course of action until completed, right? And completed just means you are successfully getting the results that you've been looking for from that particular course of action that you decided to follow, right? So that's that. Okay. So whatever the biggest thing I'll tell you now, because chances are if especially if you're getting started, chances are you are guilty of this. Okay. The one thing, actionable tip or basically the most actionable tip I could give you right now, especially if you're getting started, you're probably trying to learn, like probably following like maybe 10, 20 different, or trying to do 10, 20 different things, right? All at once. And you're basically spreading yourself thin, right? Which isn't probably like, there's a very high probability that you're not getting the kind of results that you're looking for from any one of them. So what you want to do is pick your favorite one, right? Of, like I said, all these, whatever it's drop shipping, Amazon FBA, whatever it is that you're doing, they all work, right? Like whatever business model, whether it's Amazon Kindle, if you're, doing the self-publishing thing, whatever it is that you're doing or whatever it is that you like I mentioned, they all work. Find one person or two people, whoever it is, and there's plenty of them out there, right? Just find one that you resonate with, or that resonates with you, and that has successfully done the thing that you are trying to do, and just follow. If they have a course, or if they have some kind of training or group mentorship, whatever it is, just follow the one. Pick your favorite one, follow that one, and give it a fair shake for a minimum of 6 months to a year, and then see how things look after that, right? If after that time frame you have still not gotten the results that you're looking for, especially if you have been focused on that one thing, then at that point, all right, maybe you can come to the conclusion that, all right, maybe that particular course of action is not for you, and maybe it's time to start looking into a different one. Okay. So that's essentially that. Now, if you're curious to know, like what my one course of action is, I mentioned it earlier in this video. For those of you who were following, it's affiliate marketing. So as I was trying to say before, my phone just died on me. I'm actually back inside my. I'm in the storage unit right now, trying to look at how much more space I have to to get to packing and putting stuff. But anyway, what I was trying to say before my phone just died on me was, if you are interested in getting started with the same online business model that I'm using right now, which is affiliate marketing, I would highly encourage you to check out the first link in the description below this video, and get access to some training, same training that I've been looking at to build an affiliate marketing business. Okay. And I highly recommend it for beginners, especially because it's a very basic and simple business model that does not require you to do customer service, doesn't require you to create your own product, doesn't require you to manage inventory or ship inventory and all that type of stuff. Everything is pretty much done for you. The only job you have is to send traffic, right? Drive traffic. All you have to do is drive traffic, right? And like I mentioned earlier, if you do that consistently, promoting, the same product or same set of products or whatever it is that you're interested in, like whatever niche it is that you're in, creating content every single day for 6 months straight, your life could be very different. Okay. Your life could be very different. Stop accumulating courses and, like basically accumulating digital bulk and digital dust on your computer with all these different courses and different things that you've been purchasing, and just stick to one focus, like I said, right? Focus, follow. Focus standing for follow one course of action until completed. Do that for 6 months straight and see what happens in 6 months, right? I strongly believe, with all the things that you would learn inside this training that I'm talking about, you could really make a significant difference. All right. Thank you ever so much for taking the time to watch. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, put them in the comment section below. I will be sure to answer, and I appreciate you watching all this time. Thank you ever so much. I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.